So lucky today. My name's Bess German. By the way, I'm Assistant Dean at the Honors College and very happy to welcome you to today's session. And I'm joined by the real experts. We have one of our academic advisors in the Honors College here today, and that's Sadiq Khan. And so he's also joining today, and we'll share some information about the Honors College. And he's someone that you'll see again and will probably be foremost in your advising process for the Honors College. And so grateful for him for joining this morning. We also have, I believe, I see 5 of our current students. I'm trying to count here. 5 of our current international students who are in the Honors College who are amazing. They also, some of them are leaders of our International Scholars Advisory Board. And so that's our organization that helps advise us and also plan programming for international students. And so they're going to introduce themselves a little bit later. Hopefully they're introducing themselves in the chat as well. And so without further adu, I'm going to share my screen here and give a little bit of information about the Honors College. We will start with a brief presentation of the Honors College, and so that will primarily be Sadiq and I providing a little bit more information about the program, and then we will open up to answer your questions. Those questions will primarily be answered by our current students, whose faces you can see here on the call, and they will help answer your questions and will be available too in case you have any questions for us as staff members. So current students, don't feel like you have to have your video on while we're doing this quick presentation. You're welcome to check out for a few minutes if you want to, but without further ado, I'll share my screen here. So hopefully you can see the presentation at this point. Maybe you could give me a thumbs up reaction if you can see the screen. Okay, excellent. All right, so you know who's here on the call now. We're glad to see more people joining us as we go. And so introduce that we're starting with a little bit of a brief presentation about the Honors College, and then we'll move into your questions. So first of all, we know that the concept of an honors college isn't all over the world, but it's been around in the United States for about 65 years, and we believe that the Honors College at Michigan State was one of the first honors programs in the nation here in the U.S., and we're very proud of that. We think that this was a program that was started really by some pretty radical people. They thought that high achieving students should be able to do different things in their college education, and they wanted a special program. They wanted a way that we could, in particular, we could help high achieving students have an exceptional university experience. And so this program was created back in 1956. And I tell you that because it was started with some really great ideas. It was started with the idea that high achieving students should have flexibility and freedom, and that if we gave high achieving students flexibility and freedom in this kind of an environment, that they would flourish and they would enjoy their experience as well as get a lot out of their university experience. And so this program is quite, has a lot of history, a lot of tradition, and most importantly, it has a lot of flexibility. So we're going to talk about that. Now, the Honors College here is set in a very large university. We have, we're one big family of 50,000 people at Michigan State, and we have thousands of faculty members, thousands of students. We have 200 areas of study at Michigan State. We have 17 degree granting colleges and 3 residential colleges. And I tell you this just to say you can do any of those things in connection with the Honors College. So the Honors College, think of the Honors College as an umbrella organization. It serves all students at Michigan State who are high achieving, and it's meant to give you additional flexibility, but it doesn't mean that you can't be an engineer or you can't do music and science together. Really, it helps you use the whole university well. And so you will have all that Michigan State offers and some special benefits as a member of the Honors College. So I'm going to turn things over to Sadek at this point, and he'll take things from here.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. I'm sure everyone is in different time zones. So it's nice to see a lot of you are showing up for this presentation. My name is Sadek Mohammed. I'm one of the advisors at the Honors College. So as you navigate through this program, I'll be helping you out with looking at working with you on how we can make this experience tailored to your interests, to what you want to accomplish through college. A little bit about myself. I was also an international student when I came to US, so it was best actually. So I'm from India. I came here to do my bachelor's, and then I finished my master's over here. And right now I've been working in the Honors College since 7 years, and it's been a pleasure working with students.
So as Sadek mentioned, you have the flexibility to design your own general education set of classes. And so that's where a lot of your flexibility will be, in those classes that you take outside of your major. And so you're designing your own general education program using all of Michigan State's classes from right away. So there's no waiting for the flexibility of Honors College. You're able to start that flexibility right away. And many high achieving students have multiple interests. So this works particularly well, that you have the ability to design your own program. And that means that you might be an engineer, but you might also want to study history or linguistics, and you can do that as a high level, as an honor student, and you can do that at a high level outside of your major. So the other thing that we do is to waive most course prerequisites. And as you see, if you look through our course catalog, there are a lot of restrictions on classes, and that's true of most universities. You can't take this class unless you've had Psychology 101, or you can't take this class unless you're in a particular major. But these restrictions typically don't apply to Honors College students. And so you have a lot of built-in flexibility. No matter what your interests are, you have the ability to go beyond your major, to do interesting things outside your major. That flexibility really helps honors students. You have the requirement to do 8 honors experiences by the time you graduate, and that way you graduate from the Honors College and also from the college of your major. So you might be in the College of Natural Science at Michigan State, or the College of Engineering, College of Business, College of Arts and Letters. But if you complete 8 honors experiences by the time you finish, then you graduate from the Honors College and the college of your major. So with honors experiences, there are really many ways that you can complete honors experiences, including honors courses, honors options, graduate courses. And we ask you to have 3 of these done by the time you are a second-year student, and 8 done by the time you finish at Michigan State. And so I think here, what's important is that this is also flexible, and also that these are not extra classes that you're doing in addition to other courses. These are classes that will take the place of classes that you would take anyway. And so instead of taking Calculus 3, for example, if you're an engineer, you might take Honors Calculus 3, and that would satisfy your math requirement, and it would also meet an honors requirement. So I hope that makes sense. And then let's say you're that same engineering student and you take honors psychology, that would count as a social science requirement for you and also an honors requirement. And so you're double counting these honors classes as a part of your degree program or as a part of your general education. And you can see professors love to work with honor students. I think that's true no matter where you are in the world. High achieving students are well received in their classes. They work hard. These are just a few ways that you can earn those honors credits. So you'll see in our course catalog, some classes are tagged with an H. That means that class is an honors class. It's taught only with honors students. And then honors options are where you take an honors course and you have you take you take a non-honors course and you make a contract with your professor to do extra work in that regular class. So that's a very popular way to earn honors credit. Maybe there isn't an honors course offered in a class you want to take. So you talk to the professor about what could you do that's extra to earn the H on that class. And finally, there are graduate level classes. Any graduate level class that you take at Michigan State automatically counts for you as one of your honors experiences. And so that can be very helpful to have all that flexibility to be able to go beyond in your classes and areas that you're really excited about, and to realize that you can handle graduate level courses. And maybe that doesn't happen in your first year, but maybe that's something that you want to pursue by your second, third, and fourth year to really maximize the flexibility of the Honors College and to be able to go beyond. So those are just some of the ways you can earn honors credit. Now, you're lucky because you have SADC as your great advocate for international students at the Honors College, and the rest of us, of course, and a great student body. But you will have double advising as an Honors College student. And so every one of our students has someone in their department or college that helps them with advising, but they also have that added layer of advising at the Honors College. So you have our staff, you have SADC, but also you have all of his colleagues to help you with bringing together a really unique program using everything that Michigan State offers. And we also advise students on national and international scholarships. Maybe you've heard of the Rhodes Scholarship. For example, we had an international student win an international Rhodes Scholarship. So we're very very lucky with the incredible student body we have and what they can do. And I think part of that is credit to our advisors who help our students create these really individualized and exceptional programs. Okay, we also want you to get involved in research. So we have many ways that you can get involved in research. Some of you have been offered professorial assistantships where you'll work and be paid for doing research at Michigan State. And that's called the professorial assistantship program, but it's just one way that you can get involved in research as an honors college student. We also have honors research seminars, and I'd really encourage those of you that are not doing research in the PA program to do the honors research seminars. These are small classes taught to maybe 10 to 15 students. And if you think about it, you're at a large university, but you can have small college attention if you take something like an honors research seminar. So we really do hope you'll get involved. We hope you'll publish your research. Some of our students on the call today have experience with that, about writing papers for journals and going to national conferences with your research. So we hope that you'll get involved in research. And maybe you think, oh, that's something I'll do when I'm a third or a fourth year university student, but actually you should start that as a first year student or a second year student, and the honors research seminars really help you to do that. We'd also like you to think about, even if you're studying away to come to Michigan State, we'd like you to think about going somewhere else in the world while you're at Michigan State. And so we have one of the largest education abroad programs in the US. We have 290 now programs in education abroad. We use the term education abroad because it's more than just going to study in another country. You might have an internship in another country. You might do service or a medical mission in another country. All of these sort of count as education abroad experiences. And most of our students are doing at least one of those experiences. As international students, you are studying abroad already to come to Michigan State, but we want you to go as well somewhere else while you're a Michigan State student. And most of you, I believe all of you have a scholarship to help you with that time that you would spend abroad. And there are other resources as well for education abroad at Michigan State. Okay, so we talked about research and we talked about education abroad. And if we're talking about the things that we value outside of the classroom, research and education abroad are certainly some of those. But the third would be service learning. So many of you are giving back in your communities already. I've read your applications, so I know what great citizens of the world you are and citizens of your own community. And it's no different here. In fact, that's part of the Spartan way, is to give back in your community. No matter how you do that, we want you to do that. So you've probably heard the phrase, to whom much is given, much is expected. We believe that you each have a way to give back in the world, and we want to help you figure out how to do that. So we have some of our own programs in service learning, and we'll encourage you, whether it's through mentorship of a young student, or it's giving back in our mentor program, or you are teaching computer coding in a local community here. We want you to think about how to use your particular talents to give back in the world, and to continue to do that. In most of your cases, you're already doing that. So thank you. We also have our own organizations in Honors College. So these are some of those organizations that are specifically set up just for Honors College students, though there are about 700 organizations at Michigan State, so certainly lots you can do. These are some of the ways you can get involved in Honors College, and you can ask our students about these as well. They're in some of these organizations. We also have honors floors now in 8 different residence halls with an honors floor. And so this would be an option for you, and you could ask our students about that as well during the question and answer, which I want to move to quickly here. And you know, people ask us, do your students go on and do great things? And we have plenty of proof that they do. This is what you might look like on graduation day with your nice white stole over your green graduation gown. We hope that we'll be able to do that in person in the future. And we know that our graduates go to some of the best graduate programs in the nation and also the world. And so this is some of the places. This is just one sample of a year in the life of graduating seniors at Michigan State, some of the great places they go for graduate school. And I think one of the reasons that they are particularly successful is they're students who have taken advantage of the flexibility of the Honors College. They are like some of the students you're about to meet. They're people that have excelled, and they've really maximized the opportunity at Michigan State. Maybe they did several research projects. Maybe they have done a study abroad program or an internship abroad. And they're very well recruited to both graduate school and the world of work. We have about a 97% placement rate when you think of students going to work right away or students going to graduate school. And that's a pretty outstanding track record in terms of our success for our students. So you could ask our students on this call as well what they're thinking about for post-graduation plans. Okay, a last note is that we have a scholarship process for students to apply for scholarship every year. And so what you receive when you walk in the door at Michigan State is not necessarily the end of the story. And so we encourage you to keep applying for scholarships. And we have some of our own scholarships, but we also encourage you to go and apply for national and international scholarships and fellowships. We have a little saying at Michigan State. We call it Spartan's Will. It is, you know, we are in challenging times right now. We don't even know that we can promise that you can come to our campus in August, but we know there's a lot of uncertainty right now. We're ready to welcome you whenever it is safe to do so, and whether that means starting in January or coming for hopefully coming in August. We know that that will pose some challenges, but we have a little saying we call Spartan's Will. It is the will to get things done, the will to be resilient, the will to challenge, to plan exceptional academic programs. And so without further ado, let's have our students introduce themselves. And so you know which students will be answering questions this afternoon. And Rebecca, maybe you can talk about our International Scholars Advisory Board as well. And we have about a half an hour now. We'll turn things over to our students to help answer questions. And our visiting students, if you would, please type your questions in the chat so we can all see what your questions are. And maybe Sada can help with moving the questions to the students as you think they can answer them.
This is my 4th year here at Michigan State University. I come from Saudi Arabia, and my major is biomedical laboratory sciences, minoring in leadership and integrated learning. And ever since starting college, I've been involved in multiple organizations. One of them is ISAB. I've been in ISAB since sophomore year. and currently I work as the professional and as the professional development chair. Besides organizations, I have been involved in research related to psychology. Other than that, that's all I've been doing since the start of college. Organizations, leading multiple positions, and undergraduate research.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca and I'm from Cote d'Ivoire. I am a senior, I'll be graduating in May, and my major is psychology and I have a minor in graphic design, and I've been involved in ISAB too. ISAB stands for the International Scholars Advisory Board. We are the student organization that welcomes international students in the Honors College, and we really work to make them feel welcomed and feel like they belong to the Honors College and take advantage of all the good opportunities that Bess and Sadiq mentioned earlier. And we have different we have different fields of operation, if I could call them that way. We have an outreach group that really works to reach out to international students and bring them in and tell them more about the Honors College. Those of you guys who are already in the Honors College and the ones who are not yet in the Honors College, and help them get in. That's what our outreach group does. We also have a peer mentorship group. I think that's the one that will be most beneficial to you right now. We try and pair you up with upperclassmen, people who've already been in the Honors College, so that they help you navigate that integration period so that you feel welcomed and you really take advantage of what's available for you. And we also do a bunch of other stuff. So when you're considering joining the Honors College and MSU, do remember us in your plans. Yes. Okay, who's coming next?
Hi everyone, so I'm Akshit from India. I live in New Delhi, and so first I came to MSU and I planned to major in computer science. But like I always liked physics, but like even though I chose computer science as my major, I wanted to enter research. Like at MSU, I found such a good physics faculty, and they have the FRIB. So I just decided to double major, and for that I think honors college really helps because the small classes really help me get individualized attention from the professors, and like it's much better than studying in large groups. When the professor is able to see you and he or she is able to see your progress, it really makes you put more of an effort.
Hi, I'm also Hayford Akumia, and I'm from Ghana. Yeah, my major is computer science. Yeah, I've also been involved in the Honors College. One is the first year council, and also the Honors College Dean's Advisory Council. Yeah, so it's been an exciting year. Yeah, especially with the first year council. You felt like exciting activities where you learn how to build yourself and also how to like make leadership plans and everything. Yeah. And aside the honors college too, I've also been involved in the TEDx MSU. With that one, I'm also the director of finance, and that one also helps me to like, even though I'm a computer science major, I try to like get an idea about the finance world and also the business world, and also like how to like motivate others also to achieve their goals and also make their experience in MSU an exciting one. Yeah, it's been fun so far. And aside that, I was also involved in the soccer team. Like this semester, we're also having the intramural soccer, but because of the pandemic, we couldn't continue. But it's been an exciting time to be in MSU and also have friends you can share ideas with and also talk to and also help you. Yeah.
I've also been involved in research in psychology, so if any of you has a question about that, I could help answer it.
Right. At this time, any questions at this time?
So it looks like we don't have any questions yet from our students that I can see in the chat. Maybe you could each talk about why you decided to come to Michigan State and how you made that decision. Would that be a good starting question? Okay, because I know it's a little different for each of you, but maybe we could go in that same order again and just talk about what went into your decision to come to Michigan State.
So for me, I applied to several universities in the US, and when I applied to Michigan State, one thing that I liked about Michigan State was the fact that there was so much flexibility, and that's kind of what I was going for. And on top of that, Michigan State had the PA program, which I was really interested in because I wanted to go into undergraduate research. On top of that, my brother also went to Michigan State, so I knew from his experiences of what Michigan State had to offer. So I was kind of excited. So when I also got a scholarship offer, it was kind of a no-brainer. So there are a lot of factors that went into like my coming to Michigan State, but the flexibility and being part of the honors college and being able to get involved in undergraduate research were definitely like the top 3 reasons.
Hi. Choosing a college for you after high school is a bit challenging and like a whole chaotic thing going on because you're not sure where to go. I used to go to Virginia Tech before coming to Michigan State. I was doing culture program, and after a year spending it there, I feel like I need like space where I can experience undergraduate college life at its optimal. So I was looking through all like the top 100 universities in the nation. That was an important thing for me because that would ensure they would receive the best proper education. And one of the university, I found multiple universities that was worth coming in for college. But the things that I liked about Michigan State is first the fact that it's been one of the leading universities in research. So that was a big bonus for me. Besides this, the fact that it is really diverse. So you would literally see people from all around the world and from all the 50 states across the nation, across the US nation. That's the second thing. The third thing, the traditions, the cultures here at MSU. I actually knew the Go Green Go White and Spotty culture when I was looking through the information about Michigan State, and that kind of excited me because having a culture and traditions makes you feel fit and like inclusive. So yeah, those are like the things that I was thinking about before coming in. The ranking of the university, reputation, and the best proper education that we'd receive because you would spend 4 years, and the 4 years you spent is basically the establishment of your knowledge before going out to the real world, whether you pursuing graduate school or you go into a work field right away. And yeah, this is why I joined Michigan State University.
My reason for applying to MSU are a bit different. So I was applying to this scholarship program. It's called the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. And they partner with a lot of schools here in the US and in different places in the world. And when I was looking at the schools here in the US, I saw Michigan State and a bunch of other schools. And to be honest, the only reason why I chose Michigan State was that here in Michigan, you get to experience all 4 seasons. And the other schools were in the south. I was like, I'm coming from Cote d'Ivoire. It's hot throughout the year, I don't want to come to a place where it's going to be hot, like 12 months out of 12 as well. So I need to come to a place where I can see snow, where I can get to experience the fall and also spring. That's why I applied to MSU and I got in. Of course, I like psychology, so I had to make sure that they offered it. But I didn't have any, there wasn't any particular reason why I joined Michigan State. So I would say I came with, I don't know, an open mindset because I really didn't know what I was getting into. So most of the good experiences, like what I have to say that's positive about MSU, I got here first and experienced it, and that's how I was able to like make my mind up about MSU. Yeah.
Okay, for me, it's more of like a friend also introduced MSU to me. So I was also applying to different colleges and universities in the US. But I had a friend who's a sophomore right now. He introduced MSU to me, and after like some research I did about the school, I really enjoyed what I saw online. And I think so far what I saw online has been reflected like in real life. And also with it, actually when I was coming here for the mechanical engineering major. So it was very nice to look at the mechanical engineering major to see what MSU was doing with, in the mechanical engineering field. But before coming here, I learned programming in Python. So when I came here, I decided to change my major, and so far it's been good. It's been good, yeah. So I think we all have different reasons that made us apply, and also one of the things that made me also stick to MSU was like the scholarship they gave me and how they made my life easier to come here. I think they want. There's a question about the experience of living on an honest floor. Yeah, but I don't know if someone lived on an honest floor who can answer that one. But for me, I think I didn't live, right now. I'm not on an honest floor, but I think the experience of being on an honest floor is like you get to associate with other honest college students who are like also focused and also who are like who knows what they want, and you can have similar, you can have friends who are also in the same class with you. Like it's very nice to have them closer to you so that you can also share ideas and also like discuss topics or any challenges that you may face in class.
Yeah, so I lived in an honors floor, and so sometimes from what I've heard from my RA is that sometimes it's not too different from a regular floor, and sometimes it's like completely weird in a good way. So my floor, from what I've seen from my other friends, I've visited my like almost all of the dorms, and I feel like that my floor is the best one out of them. Like whenever I get out of the room, like whenever I see anyone walking in the hall, we say hi, and almost everyone in the floor like knows each other, and even the RA is quite surprised, and he's like, this is the best floor in my 3 years of being an RA. Yeah, so it just boils down to the people, and I found really good people, really smart people, and we are able to have some pretty good intense conversations sometimes. Yeah, so I am a freshman and I have a lot of doubts about many things, and like they're really good people. I can just walk up to them and ask them weird questions and they don't mind. So I'm very happy with an honors floor.
Just to add on to what Akshit said, I haven't lived on an honors floor, but I'm an RA, and I know the experiences of both the RA and the residents on the honors floor. I'm an RA in Holmes Hall. So
Anish, can you say a little bit more about what an RA is?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Forgot about that. Yeah, so an RA is like, the RA is like a student leader on the floor. So depending on your building, you'll have an RA either for your floor or the wing in which you live. RAs are resident assistants. They are student employees appointed by Michigan State to ensure that residents on the floor have the resources that they need to have a successful year. RAs, they help enforce policy. They help you maintain the relationship between both your roommate and your suite mate if you live in suite style housing on campus. And they also like help you navigate through college and help guide you to the resources that you need during your time here at MSU. Each floor has about 1 to 2 RAs depending on whether or not your floor is divided into 2 wings. So for the honors floors, and there are several buildings on campus that have honors floors, and for each floor they also have an honors RA. So your RA will also be from the honors college. So if you have questions or concerns, your honors floor RA will be able to help you with navigating through any concerns that you have. Another benefit of living on an honors floor is that a lot of residents tend to return to the floor like in subsequent years because they enjoy being on the honors floor so much. Like honors floors kind of have their own dynamic because the students keep working with each other. They are kind of going through similar experiences. So they kind of know how to like guide each other to the same resources, and that way you form like really strong connections. So a lot of people choose to return to honors floors for their second or third year because they enjoy that sense of community so much. So that's like one huge benefit of living on an honors floor. And it's not competitive at all in a way. It's actually people working together because they are going through similar experiences, so they want to support each other and they're more open to receiving support from each other. So that's like the beauty of living in an honors floor.
Yeah, and I think there's a question also about honors courses graded harder than other college courses. I think the grades or the grading system is basically the same. If it's 4.0, you all have the 4.0, 3.5, 3.0, then 2.5. But the difference might be like the extra work that you might do in the honors courses or the honors option. So if it's an honors course, you might expect the honors course to be a bit challenging than the regular class. And if that one is an honors option, you're going to do an extra work for a particular class to get at the honors option. But for the grading system, it's going to be the same for each and every one.
Also, just around that, if your concern is about being graded like harsher because you're taking an honors class, that's not necessarily the case. The thing about honors classes is that they aren't necessarily just like your regular class on steroids. They have like their own like curriculum, their own syllabus, and most of the time, because they are in small class sizes, the professor understands that you're doing something that's a bit more difficult than what other students would usually do. Which is why when it comes to honors classes, for instance, I did honors Calc 2, and it was like a class of 10 students, and our professor understood that what we were doing was a little bit more challenging what regular students had to do. So she gave us a lot of extra credit opportunities to help us boost our grade. And there was a lot of material that we learned that was not in the regular syllabus for Calc 2 students. And she said this material, you won't be graded on this, like this homework will just be based on effort. So just put everything that you have into, like just put the best effort that you can into doing the homework. Professors who usually teach honors classes try to go out of their way to ensure that the class is more fun and more based on like education and trying to learn the material over just making it more difficult because it's an honors class. I wouldn't say that it's not necessarily a generalization. I think it also can vary from department to department, but that is at least my experience working with honors classes so far in mathematics and what else? Writing, because you'll have to take an honors writing course when you arrive at MSU. And in both cases, the professors, their intention was to make the class more interesting and for us to put our best effort into it. And they weren't necessarily about like grading us on a harsher scale.
Yeah, so I would say the syllabus is a bit harder than the regular classes, definitely, but that is made up for by the better faculty we are getting. And like for me, honestly, when I am in a class of 100 students or more, and the professor is not able to see me, just fall asleep in half of my classes. So it's better to attend a class where the professor can see me, and like I don't get bored and it's fun to study. Yeah, so honors classes are the best. And like I am so like I was not able to get honors option for some of the classes I'm taking in the sophomore year, and like I don't like that. So I would like to have, yeah, I am requesting the honors faculty as well to include honors options for like senior classes as well.
There was a question about classes not being as expensive as if we were on campus, because like in case classes are now online, will MSU keep the same rate for each one of them? I don't think we're in a measure to answer that question, right, Bess? We don't know what that would look like.
As of now, I think if students elect to take online classes in the fall, they will be charged similarly to how they would be if you were here. And I'll tell you that about 700 of our faculty members are doing training this summer to make sure that what they're offering online is as robust as it would be in person. And so you can expect that the quality would be wonderful. But also, if you would elect to start, if you wanted to start in January instead of starting in September, I think that would also be honored. And that is a choice that in particular international students would have, in that it may be hard to get a visa to start in the fall. But you could also start online one possibility, without knowing for sure, is that you would start online in the fall and then come in person in January as another option. So I hope that is helpful.
Someone also asked if we could all share our research and internship experiences. Anybody wants to start?
I guess I'll go. So during my first 2 years, so for like the last 3 years, I've been working in the same lab in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. I work in the electromagnetics research group under Dr. Prem Chahal. So my first 2 years, I was part of the professional assistantship program through the Honors College, and then I joined in my junior year as an undergraduate researcher in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. During my first year, kind of my professors understood that I wasn't exactly aware of what was going on, so I learned some new skills, but that didn't require as much technical knowledge in subjects. For instance, I worked on printed circuit board fabrication. And then after my second semester, I started working on Python simulations for some of the research projects that we were working on. And then going into my second and third years, I learned more advanced programming and more hardware related stuff. I started working on microcontroller programming, smartphone application development, and RFIDs, radio frequency IDs, and like tag detection. And so like that's what I've been working on. And yeah, I also worked last summer in the College of Engineering as a participant in the MSU Ensure program, which is a summer undergraduate research experience program at MSU. So yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, also, I'm still a research assistant with the Department of Psychology. I started my research experience last August. August was last year, and I work in a laboratory where its main mission is to investigate how sleep consolidates what we learn, and through like the mission, from the mission, multiple studies branches. For example, we do studies on how sleep deprivation will affect what we learn, and how taking supplements that would help with sleep would affect whether or not would affect our cognitive functions when we like wake up in the morning. And the main study we did was another study was called the SMS study. SMS stands for sleep, memory, and sleep. Sleep and memory something I forgot. But what we do is have two groups come in, and one group would be tested one group would learn specific sets of information and come in the morning, and come in the evening and be tested on it, and the other group will be tested on different time and come in the morning and be tested on it. So basically one group would receive sleep, the other would receive no sleep. That's the one I was working on it more specific. The experience that I received ever since starting research is that being able to communicate with coworkers, because every week I would have uh, like a faculty members and leadership members meeting where we discuss what we achieved during the week and whether or not we encountered problems and how we would work on fixing them. Besides knowing how to communicate with the faculty members and co-workers in the Department of Psychology, we learned how, at least for me, I learned how to conduct a test that measures the brain waves of your brain when you are during sleep, and the test called BSG test, and similar to EEG test. It's used for detecting brain waves when you're asleep. So we're just monitoring whether like you fall and sleep in the first stage, second stage, or third stage, and how long you've been in it. Yeah, this is basically what I did. Sleep and Learn Laboratory. Definitely recommended.
I'm gonna talk about the research in psychology as well. So as I mentioned, I'm a psych major, and I started doing research in sophomore year, and I didn't really have any strong interest for that back then. So I was just joining, it was my first experience, and I must say my first year wasn't really pleasant, because I didn't know anything about what was going on in the lab, and we had really minimal roles, and um, my experience was very limited, also because I didn't have any particular interest in research. I didn't know much about fields of study in psychology. It was all new. But as I grew in my junior year and now in my senior year, I got to do things that I'm more interested in. And I must say, especially if you're in the social sciences, and particularly in psychology, as an honors college student, you have the opportunity to do a capstone. And the capstone study, it's, you would say it's a research experience, but that's designed by you. So instead of joining a lab and working on the projects of your professor or grad school students, you actually come up with your own question, your own research study, and you get to do something that you're really interested in. And I must say that's the thing that really made me grow as a researcher, because um, I've been able to walk through the entire process of like writing the entire thing. Like when you go online and you read these research articles, how they come up with everything, the introduction, the methods section, the analysis, everything. You go through all these stages, and it really teaches you a lot about what research is and whether or not it's something that you want to continue doing. And for my experience, that's when I really fell in love with research. And my research was on how people vote, like what goes on in our brains when we're voting, and how political candidates may or may not use that to make us be more inclined to voting for them. So that was very, I would say, different from what the other people in my capstone group were doing. But again, I got to do that because I had the opportunity to come up with my own idea and walk through the entire process. And next week I'll be submitting my honors thesis, and I can say that research here at MSU is really what you want it to be for you. So like, even if you feel limited, it's really good to always reach out to your professor, and they're always willing to help you grow better. And definitely doing something on your own will make you grow faster. Yes. And someone asked a question, I'm going to answer that before moving on, sorry, about music, being able to pursue a music interest. I think even though they're not the music major, it's possible, again, when you're an honors student. I don't know how it works when you're not, but this semester, actually, I took a music class for non-music majors, and I had it waived. So it's very possible for you to do that. If you go online on Schedule Builder, where you see all the majors and the classes in the music department, they have classes for music majors and classes for non-music majors. So that's a possibility for you, and they really work with you sometimes on one-on-one. The class I had, it was a one-on-one interaction, and yeah, you can do that.
So thank you everyone so much on behalf of Sadek and myself and the Honors College and our students. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to our panelists for being the awesome Honors College students that you are, for sharing your experience. We will be happy to provide other opportunities. I think our ISAB leaders would be happy to continue this discussion over the summer to help with any questions that you still have. And so we wanted to let you know that we'll certainly work on that if there is interest in continuing the conversation and making sure that you have a way to get your questions answered over the summer. We sincerely hope that we'll see all of you who jumped on this call. We'll get to see you in person in a few months. And we wish you a great rest of the day, and please stay in touch as you can. We're always available by email. You can see Andrew Abad on this call as well, is our Assistant Director of Admissions, and myself and Sadek. We would be happy to help you anytime you have questions, and we can put you in touch with our students as you need as well. And so we'll wrap up at this point. It was a pleasure to see you. Again, thank you for being here, and have a great rest of your day.